Jesus Christ is God, and there is no other God. He is part of the Holy Trinity, and any other God is a demon, and it's false. How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today, what are you conserving? You are bringing change. I'll be 100% honest with you. Christianity is the one truth.
Christian voices should be the main voice of America, and I want to know basically why you seem to be, and I don't mean to be horribly offensive, but why you seem to be masquerading as a Christian.
You familiar with the Ten Commandments?
You call yourself a Hindu, but you also call yourself Christian.
I don't call myself Christian. I call myself a Hindu. I'm not running to be pastor of Ohio. I'm running to be governor of Ohio, and I didn't run to be pastor of America. I ran to be president of the United States of America. What's your faith?
I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus.
Great. Do you believe in the Holy Trinity? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
I think a lot of people here do. So
good. And that doesn't make you a polytheist, does it?
Probably not, no.
Great. And so in my faith, I believe there's one true God. He resides in all of us, and he appears in different forms, but it's one true God. So I'm an ethical monotheist. That's the way I would describe my faith. Do you think it's inappropriate for someone who's a Hindu to be, say, a U.S. president?
No, I think it's... No, well...
You be honest.
Isn't Hinduism...
Because you're an Indian.
I can ask yourself that. Hinduism believes in Shiva and what is it? The flute god. I forget.
Right, Krishna, who's you thinking of?
Yeah, Krishna. But isn't Charlie Kirk's organization founded on Christian values as well? And isn't the United States of America also, based on what Protestantism is, based on how those values are? Wouldn't that contradict what your beliefs are?
Like I said, I'm not here to justify my faith to you any more than you are to me, but what I do share is the value set this country was founded on. And I think that it's really important that we not reinvent the founding of this country and what it was actually all about.
I don't know what he thought was going to happen coming to Ohio at a Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA event with young white Christians in the audience asking him questions. He was met with resistance, racism, and hatred. Like, I literally don't understand what it is going to take for people like Vivek to understand that it doesn't matter what you do, they are not going to accept you. I mean, these people think that Christianity is what founded this country, that this country was founded on Christianity, even though many of the founding fathers were not Christian, but they still have this belief in their head. They think they are superior. And what do we call that? White supremacy. They literally think that if you are not a white Christian, that you are evil. They will even go so far as to judge your tattoos, judge your nose rings, etc. Because if you aren't a carbon copy of the next person and the person before them, then you don't fit in. And they don't want you here. I do know one thing though. The Democratic Party needs to organize better. Because Turning Point is going all over this country, getting these young voters, these young Christian voters registered and voting.
Hi guys, this is Tiana and you're welcome to Tiana's React. So he walked in confident, hoping to win hearts, but instead of applause, he met disbelief and rejection. Vivek Ramaswamy begged for votes, but got a brutal reminder of where he truly stands in conservative America. What do you think, guys? Well, let's dive in and see people's reactions to this. But before we do, please do well to like, share, and of course, subscribe to keep the channel moving.
I'm not sure what it's going to take for my people to truly realize that we're not welcome here. And it really doesn't matter whether you were born here or not. We're all looked at the same. Now, if you're Indian and you're watching this, you know as much as I do that we have a lot of similarities and we have a lot of disconnects. As descendants of a nation that was once colonized, we tend to whitewash a lot, and that is a truly strange phenomenon that happens. As someone that looks like, speaks like, and basically has the same story as Vivek Ramaswamy, I can let you know right now that this is nothing new. It doesn't matter what your accent sounds like. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't even matter how rich you are. The point that I'm trying to make is that no matter how hard we try, we're never going to be them. And this is nothing different than what other minority groups go through in this country. Whether you're black, whether you're Mexican, whether you're Asian, whether you're Indian, it doesn't matter. We'll always be seen as the lackey, and as soon as they don't need us anymore, we're gone. And the faster that we realize that, the better it'll be.
I'm from Ohio, to start off. President Theodore Roosevelt, one of the greatest conservatives in American history, once said that we have to use prudence in regards to our natural resources granted to us by God. And as an Ohioan, I think both of us understand how important that message is. I'm from Cleveland, and our river caught on fire a ton of times. And that resulted in the Clean Water Act in 1972, which is one of the most important environmental regulations in our country's history. And it saved our river in my city. And you're running a campaign, from my understanding, for governor of Ohio, which is where all my family lives. And you're running a campaign that is fundamentally against almost all environmental regulations. So how do you reconcile those things? Ohio's history?
Not quite accurate, but you raise a good premise to your questions. Much of the climate change movement is based on fundamentally false premises. I'll give you an example. I mean, I think there are more people, 8 times as many people who die of warm temperatures every year than cold temperatures. So let's just start with the question of whether incrementally rising global surface temperatures are net negative for humanity when you have more deaths from warm temperatures than cold temperatures. So I will admit that I've been pretty vehement on that set of issues. That is distinct from supporting clean air, clean water, a clean environment, even preserving. I'm somebody who, in the tradition of Teddy Roosevelt, loves the natural beauty of our country, loves America the Beautiful, believes it is our job as leaders of this country to preserve and protect that which is beautiful and great about our nation. But that is distinct from bowing at the altar of what's become this new kind of secular religion. I don't call it the climate religion, I call it the climate cult, because at least religions have withstood the test of time in a way that this one has not. Those are two distinct positions. And so just like the last question, I can believe both those things at the same time. For clean air, for clean water, for our national parks, for the preservation of American beauty, while also recognizing that actually in some ways the climate movement has been hostile to those environmental goals because it's usurped everything in service of this one set of quasi-religious, quasi-cultish beliefs. That's what I believe.
So do you commit to protecting nature, water, our environment, Lake Erie, as governor of Ohio?
Yes, and I'll give you one specific commitment. There's a program called H2 Ohio that looks after cleanliness of Lake Erie specifically. And I'll commit to you, I'm fully behind H2 Ohio, and I want to actually preserve the beauty of our lake to the north. We have a beautiful northern coast, and some of you from Montana can return the favor and visit us sometime as well.
Yes, go to Lake Erie.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's beautiful. Thank you, all right?
Holy shit, if you don't know, there's this guy running for governor of Ohio. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy. He's an Indian guy. He's also a conservative. Keep that in mind, because he went to go meet with Charlie Kirk's cult the other day, and he's running for governor. He basically sat down, spoke with them, chopped it up. They basically tell him, we are never voting for you, ever, in our life, because you don't represent us. And you know why you don't represent us? Because you're Indian, and you're not Christian. When we were all like, Charlie Kirk promotes hate and division, that might be why we said that. And let this be a message to any other POC, yes, that includes Asians, that no matter how close you get to white people, or racist white people, I should say, they will never see you as an equal. Ever, ever, ever.
So we got to watch out for the governor's race in Ohio taking place at midterms. There's 2 candidates that are already rising to the top in terms of just being out there. Let's start with the Republicans. We've got Vivek Ramaswamy. You guys remember, he's a slime ball. The man has 0 ethics. He's a, oh my God, I want to be a tech bro, pick me type. He spreads all the same lies, misinformation, disinformation. You can really see his narcissism. The guy is just gross, okay? But he's running for governor in Ohio. So he can't run on that. Why can't he run on that? Because Ohio's a unique state where most Republicans there are not extremist MAGA. They're hardworking, decent people with conservative values. Okay, they were the ones who defended the Haitians with the rest of the MAGA world around this country, and Trump saying they're eating our cats and dogs. These are the people who elected J.D. Vance as senator when he ran as an anti-Trump candidate. Governor DeWine has risen above all of the MAGA extremism and has done a good job in his state. So Vivek can't run on those ugly, lying extremist talking points. So he's going to be speaking at a Turning Point USA event right around the corner, and he's going to be delivering this message. My fellow Republicans, we must get away from the owning the libs rhetoric and agenda. We've got to tone that down. We've got to be willing to work across the aisle. He's not delivering that message because that's what he believes. He's as unethical and divisive as the rest. He's doing it because it's the only way he can win in Ohio with the composition of Republicans there. Now, I'm interested to see in how this Turning Point USA event's going to turn out, because I've been to those events, and these are your MAGA extremists who have an addiction to fear and rage and hate. They want their addictions fed. That's why they go to events like this. So I would compare it to an alcoholic who's desperate for another drink, and somebody says, here, have a glass of water. This is better for you. Do you think they're going to react pleasantly? So I'm interested to see how his message comes across. Now, on the Democratic side, we have Amy Acton, Dr. Amy Acton. She's a physician and a researcher. And just to show you how Governor DeWine puts Ohio above politics, he appointed her as a Democrat to run the Ohio Department of Health. He took all of the advice from her to get Ohio through COVID, and he stood by her side, and she did a fantastic job. He didn't care that she was a Democrat. He just wanted the best people. So she's running on the Democratic ticket. So we need to elevate her. We need to push her content, follow her socials. Ohio right now is in the headlines because of the Trump administration. The headlines all over Ohio is that Ohioan farmers are being utterly decimated by the tariffs. I mean, we're talking headlines everywhere, and Ohio has a ton of farmers, including soybean farmers. So, this is an opportunity for us to take this governor from red to blue. So pay attention.
Vivek Ramaswamy went on down to a Turning Point USA event and was quickly shown why he will never, ever, 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 ever be accepted by them in the capacity that he wants to be. He is good as a show person. He's good as a distraction. He's good to further their agenda up to a point. But they will never line up behind him as their leader, as their president, as their whatever. Because those people, they care about one thing, and that is what is on their skin. Now, you can drape it with the Christian nationalism thing, but in general, this is what they care about. So they will find the reason. If they had you and someone that looked like them, exact same thing, they will choose them overwhelmingly. Every single time you guys betray to go over there, it will end up badly. They don't like us.
Hands down, my favorite pastime is when a brown or black person has that realization that they will never be liked by racists. If you haven't heard of this guy, he is running for governor in Ohio. He decided to go to the Turning Point USA to get their support. And they humbled him so quickly with one thing, his religion.
Hello and good afternoon. So, y'all remember Vivek Ramaswamy? Y'all remember him. He burst onto the scene running for president. You know, his tagline was, "I'm the little brown kid with the funny sounding name." We knew what he was trying to do. Anywho, so y'all know he's a biotech billionaire. right? He got his start in tech and pharma, whatever, right? Okay. So he was running for president, and as a Republican. Anywho, y'all remember that there was an interview that he did with Ann Coulter, the undead. And she told him, although they were in the same party and she liked some of his ideas, she would never vote for him because he wasn't white. Y'all remember that? He said that. She said that to his face, and he basically told her, hey, I appreciate your honesty. Let's fast forward. He decided to take himself over there to the deceased's business, the deceased, to Turning Point, that place. And them people, the audience that consisted of mainly non-people of color, they hurled racist slurs at him. They told him that he will never be one of them. Basically, he will never get their vote. They don't care that he's a Republican. All they care about the fact that he's brown and he's Hindu. And so he's over there, talking about, his beliefs and whatnot. And they basically told him they don't care. He will never get their vote because he is not white. I am just here asking these questions. I know it's rhetorical because I know. But when are the Latinos for Syphilitic Sid, Tim Scott, Vivek, and a whole host, Candace, when are y'all gonna understand that just because you may share certain conservative values that really are no longer conservative values, that you will never be accepted by these racist people? It is very evident at this point that they had no problem using you to secure votes for the people who look like you. But they are never going to let you into their club. If you look at Syphilitic Sid's cabinet, there is one black man in that cabinet, and he's the HUD secretary, as if they think the only thing that a black person can understand is subsidized housing. But I ain't gonna lie. I love this for Vivek. Because no matter how much you speak like them, no matter how much you say the same hateful things as them, you will never be one of them. And I love this for him. I do. I ain't gonna lie. I love it. And I can't wait for the continued dragging. Maybe I should feel a little something for him, but I don't. I really don't. And I don't care. Okay.
Every time Vivek Ramaswamy gets on stage, it feels like he's putting himself through a humiliation ritual.
If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today, what are you conserving? You are bringing change.
I remember watching him during the 2024 debates, and he was really trying to make himself like this baby Trump thing, and it wasn't working because people just didn't like him due to the fact that he wasn't white and Christian. It's funny because as much as the right would want you to believe that the left only cares about identity, it's pretty evident that identity is the most important thing to them. Because the left is open to anyone. Anyone can be on the left and be accepted. On the right, it's like, you're gay, you're not in. You're black or brown, you're allowed, but once we go far enough to the right, you're not allowed anymore. That's not even mentioning what they do to beer companies that even think about trans people. Just give it a few more months and they're going to be calling Kash Patel slurs. I promise you they will.
So guys, this wasn't just humiliation, it's a mirror. The same crowd that preaches unity just showed America what divides it the most. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Please do well to like, share, and of course, subscribe to keep the channel moving. Till next time.